if you're a parent, you might be asking yourself the question, why did my child struggle so much during the school year last year? And you don't want to repeat of this next coming school year again. Hey, I am Dr. Randy Wurts, and this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because I was that kid. I was that kid in first grade. In fact, my first grade teacher told my mom, like, I don't know how he's ever going to make it in life. Well, I guess I did, Mrs. Nelson, and here I am. But it's definitely changed my life and what's happened to me. And then school became a breeze, like in junior high. And I'd like to share that with you of what changed in my life, what you can do, because you might have tried the tutoring. Hey, my child's just not getting math. My child can't read very well. Their comprehension is not very good. The behavior is out of control. I'm getting calls every week. My child can't fall asleep. I've tried nutrition. I tried psychologists, and nothing seemed to help. And I'm going to ask you, let's go beneath the surface. Let's go beneath the surface of the symptoms to address the core of the problem. And we start to see that, it starts to see these are nervous system problems. Whether it's dyslexia, behavior, chronic illness, anxiety, they're all signs that the brain and the body are not functioning well. And that is rooted in the nervous system. We get stuck in a state of stress. We get stuck in survival mode where the nervous system can't function. It's more apt to survive rather than process math and math equations. Let me ask you this. When you're stressed, do you really feel like doing long division? Absolutely not. When the nervous system can't calm down, when the body can't calm down, that's an issue. For boys, you'll start to see that in the first part of the year, it's like taking a wild animal and sticking it into a cage. They just don't do well in the cage. Boys need to move. Girls will need to socialize. They need to talk. You'll often see girls regress. They're not making friends. They're not engaging in conversations. They're quiet, and to a person from looking from the outside, you're going to think they're being behaved, they're polite, but actuality, they're just being reserved and they're regressing. I ask this because I actually talked to a teacher, one of the patients this week, and I asked them, this is exactly what happens, and boys have a hard time settling down and girls just start regressing. They're not talking, they're not communicating, they're more anxious, or boys not getting stimulated, they're not getting the movement that they need to help do this. So one thing is, a tip is getting your boys to move, getting your girls to talk. Actually, they both need movement to some extent, but boys more so than girls, and girls need to develop those friendships, develop those talking friendships, knowing that they have an outlet, that they can talk about their problems, and you coming along beside them as well. But another thing is like, hey, we tried this. We need to understand what's happening underneath the surface, and that's where I would come into play, because I am actually looking at how the nervous system integrates that information, how the nervous system can synthesize and gather that information, and not listening to all the noise that is out there, the distractions when learning. So what happens, and what I see, is a nervous system that's just stuck in stress. It's a habit. And what I do as a chiropractor is I use chiropractic care to break that pattern up, to desensitize that nervous system to stress, to change the pattern. So we first calm the nervous system down, then we start to rewire that nervous system, reorganize the nervous system. Or it could be that your child's a teen and they're just so exhausted that they can't really, having a hard time focusing in class because let's just face it, I'm tired and I can't gather the information. So it's a matter of getting their energy up, because their nervous system's been so wound up for such a long time that they need to have their energy back up so they can process that information. So this is what we do as far as figuring it out. First of all, we do the consultation. I'm using these symptoms not to say, hey, you need this or you need this medication. I'm using the symptoms to say, let's trace back to the nervous system, part of the nervous system that's not working. Let's find that kink in the hose, per se, to say where it's not letting that information in the brain and the body gather that information. Then we're going to say, hey, what do we need to do to rewire? We're going to do scans. We do computer scans to assess the exact location, measure that information, and then we do a physical exam to say, hey, how is that showing up in the body? Is it showing up as exhaustion? Are they just tense all the time? To figure that out as well. All these are clues to figure out what's happening with the brain and what's happening with the body and how they're integrating that information together. Okay, I hope this was definitely helpful for you. I hope if you're looking for another answers or if you need some hope to say, hey, how can I help my struggling child who is just getting beat up and their esteem's getting beat up because they can't make the class and they're trying so hard to do that? Maybe it's time to look for a different answer. Rather than trying to resolve the symptoms, let's ask the question why the symptoms are there to begin with and why is my child having a hard time struggle? Hey, I am Dr. Randy Wurts, a neurologically focused family chiropractor devoted to helping your family thrive. By all means, give me a call. I'm here to help. Take care. Bye-bye.